Hey, what's up, everyone? Nice to see you. Well, I can't see you, but I can sort of feel you, if you know what I mean. Thank you for connecting in. Yoga class number 104 with me, Dave. Yeah, it's great to have you along for the ride today. And it will be a ride today. What I was thinking of doing, remember last week, and I sort of mentioned at the end of the class, I said, oh, we could maybe look at some mantra. And there was a couple of comments on the chat bar, and it was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do some mantra. So we might have a look at it. We might. Let's do it. Should we do it? So a few words about mantra before we start. I'll try not to speak for too long, but it may be a couple of minutes or so. So some of you guys might be used to using mantra. Some of you guys might really like singing, and projecting your voice. But a lot of us are probably kind of shamed a little bit by our voices. And that sort of happens maybe from an early age. When people say, oh, you can't sing, you're not good at singing, and you think, oh, I'm going to keep myself really small. I'm not going to do it. I love singing, and I don't have a particularly strong voice or anything like that. But I sing along to music. I've always sung along to music, and I have these little earworms, and it's things like lyrics from songs that go all the way back to, when I was a teenager, a long time ago, back in the 90s. But, like I love music and I love songs. So that's kind of like maybe a part of me, which is, diminished through the years. And when I started teaching, when I first started practicing yoga, I didn't do many classes where yoga teachers would teach mantra. You sometimes, do an Om at the end of the class or an Om at the start of the class, but not a lot more than that. And then I got into a style of yoga taught by my teacher, a bloke called Tommy Rosen, who's amazing. Really amazing guy. And again, not a guy with a particularly strong voice or, a powerful voice, but he would use a lot of mantra. And then when I went away to India to do my teacher training, we did a lot of mantra and we did it a lot. And this is the way I think about it. A lot of people go, no, not for me. That's the weird stuff. I'm not doing the weird stuff. Oh, you're making me do yoga and you're making me chant. You have a lot of people who do yoga, don't you? And they kind of go, oh yeah, I'll just do it. I'll do a manly voice. I'll just do a bit of stretching, mate. You know what I mean? It's not yoga, though. I don't want to connect the old spirituality with the third eye and this heart center stuff. And that's all right. I get all that. There's an aversion towards that of kind of getting deep. And when you use the word spiritual, people go a little bit like, what is that all about? But there's this aversion towards it. That's the weird stuff. I'm not doing it. It feels like a cult. And I'm just not interested in it. But mantra can be really powerful. Think of it as a vibration, vibrating in the head and the jaw and the shoulders. And some of the things that we chant can be really sweet, really, really sweet. So we're going to play around with it a little bit today. All right. So keep an open mind. And there's that idea of aversion. We're kind of averse to stuff. When things don't feel, normal to us or our normal kind of routine, we kind of go, no, that's not for me. To be curious about that. With aversion, we feel uncomfortable and want to run away from it a lot of the time. And then there's no opportunity for growth. And the thing about yoga is that's the fourth way, where we sit down and we go, what is going on for me today? Why am I feeling like that? Can I sit with this uncomfortable feeling perhaps and just notice what I'm noticing? And then probably we get the opportunity to things to change. Because if we always get set in this pattern of doing the same things all the time, there's no room for growth, right? And as probably we all know, as we get older, our lives, if we're not open-minded, get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until we're not left with a lot. And that's tragic, right? So leaning into the uncomfortable feeling of it can be really powerful. All right. Okay. Let's move a little bit because I realized that I have spoken just a little bit too long there. Someone's just said, by the way, can recommend virtual choirs. Virtual choirs, amazing. And I've been looking at some stuff like men's choirs as well. Oh my word, they do some beautiful stuff. You know, I'm reading a book at the moment called Billy No Mates, which is about relationships that men have together and kind of like the problematic relationships men can have. They can be very narrow. And he talks about choirs in that a lot. Really amazing book. All right, let's move a little bit just for a start. So I'm not even going to come onto my mat. Bring your feet out about hip distance. And then you might have been moving while I've been chatting away there about mantra. Just drop your knees from side to side. Notice how your physical body feels. Anything that feels good here. Maybe you bring the legs out. Excuse my feet. Give the legs a little shake. Maybe you kind of like massage the legs. You can give the legs a little tap down. You might get into the feet, into the thighs, the knees. Kind of just warm the legs up a little bit with a touch of your hands. That feels nice, doesn't it? Just kind of like holding on to the legs and touching the legs. That can feel quite nice and warming, and you feel that little connection. Nice. And then come back to a seated position. And remember, this stuff here, you can do in a chair, or you can do leaning against a settee or anything like that. So this first mantra we're going to do, I'm going to type it into the chat bar. Can I do that? Hold on a second. Can I type into the chat bar? I think I can. Let me have a quick look. I can do a private chat, but I can't chat into this bar, but that's okay. That's all right. It doesn't matter because it's a really short mantra. So we're going to chant this mantra, and it's called the Adi mantra, A-D-I, Adi mantra. And you hear it in Kundalini Yoga quite a lot. And the mantra is Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Ong O-N-G Namo N-A-M-O. Guru, as in beloved teacher. Gurudev Namo. Private chat, and we'll add to comments. All right, let me just do this. It's worth it. It's worth it. So I'm going to do this little Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. All right, I'm just sending that across in the private chat. That is going to appear in your comments bar. If you open the comments bar up, you should be able to see that. And then we're going to chant this. What does Ong Namo Gurudev Namo mean? Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Ong Namo. I bow to the creative consciousness in everything. There it is. Thank you very much. The Ong Namo Gurudev Namo is down in the chat bar now. So Ong Namo. So I bow to the creative consciousness in everything. I bow to the creative consciousness in everything. So it's that idea of being deeply connected to everything out there, you know, to each other. That we all, you know, start as atoms and we all end as atoms, you know, to be connected to nature, connected to our breath. Ong Namo, Gurudev Namo, beloved teacher within, beloved teacher within. So we think about this. So all it is about recognizing our connection and sending deep love to ourselves. Ong Namo, Gurudev Namo. I bow to the beloved teacher within. I recognize the teachings and the teachings that have taken me this far in my life. And we're going to chant it, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Okay? Yes, it does. It does mean praise as well, Lisa. Absolutely. You know, shortened version of it. It's kind of like there's another thing that you hear in yoga, which is Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru means being in this body in this moment is indescribable bliss. So we all get up in the morning. Wahe Guru. Yeah, it sounds weird, but it's amazing. It's nice. So, all right, what we'll do, we'll rub our hands together at heart center, create a load of heat in between the palms. And then what we're going to do, I'll chant it one time, and then you'll get the rhythm, and then we'll do it 3 times together. Your eyes are going to be closed. You'll focus just in between the eyes. And here we go. You're going to hear me project my voice. And I'm not ashamed of it. All right? So bring the thumbs up against the sternum. I'm going to take a deep inhale, and then I'm going to start the chant. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. All right? So that we're going to do that 3 times. Ong Namo, and the Gurudev, you know, really kind of get nasal in it. The Ong is a Ong. You kind of feel it in the soft part of your palate, and you feel it in your nose, and you feel it vibrate in between your eyes. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Rub your hands together at heart center. Wonder how many people are going to do this. If there's someone in your room next to you that goes, oh, they're doing that yoga thing next door, scare them. Scare them with this chant. 3 times. So we'll take a full round of breath, And then on the second inhale, we'll start the chant. Okay? All right. Keep an open mind about this. Nice deep inhale. Full release and exhale. And at the top of this inhale, we're going to start the first round. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Deep inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Nice deep inhale. Pause your breath, hold it, squeeze your belly up and in. And then when you're ready, exhale. Beautiful, really nice, really nice. Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad that your cat's looking at you, a little bit gone out. We were doing something we're going to do in a minute. We're going to kind of move our hands like this. So today's the weird class, all right? We'll get it all out of the way in one go. We'll do all the strange stuff, and then we'll get back to some normal yoga. But this morning in my class, we were doing this, and one of the guys who was online, his dog was going crazy. He was kind of jumping all over him, you know. So pets can be really intuitive, can't they? They're like, whoa, what is going on? All right. Okay, I'm going to just move the camera. We're going to come back to a little bit of chanting later on. But for now, come onto your mat if you're not there already. I'm going to take my little notebook with me because I've got a few more things to do here. And then come back to the seated position. You know, if you need to move your body, then feel free. Thank you for being good sports if you joined in. Bring your hands onto your knees and then just come into a little bit of Sufi grind. So inhale the chest forward, exhale around, inhale forward, exhale around. So I'm back at the Space to Breathe today. This not-for-profit cooperative in Leicester. This is one of our wellness rooms above our main yoga studio where I usually am. And this is a really nice room which resonates with goodness. We have like sound baths and gong baths and massage and reflexology in this room. It's really beautiful. And the artwork up above is by my very talented friend, a guy called Aidan Milthorpe, and he's got a fine art degree from De Montfort University. He's very, very talented. So it's lovely to be practicing with his artwork looking down on me. Waheguru, right? Waheguru. Feeling blessed, feeling blessed. Inhale back to center and then come back the other way. Inhale forward, exhale round. And you know, if I kind of think back, I even like 6 or 7 years ago, the idea of doing yoga, not really for me. Not that I was anti-yoga, it's just, it wasn't really in my sphere of consciousness, I guess. It didn't really go there. I didn't really go there. So the fact that I teach yoga now and sometimes I use a little bit of mantra, you can see how things can change. And don't get me wrong, the first time I'm like, I'm not doing that stuff. You can't make me. Now I love it because it makes me feel good. And that's just the idea of yoga, isn't it? We get onto our mats, we pay attention, we notice what's going on, and we're a true reflection of ourselves on our yoga mats than we are in life. So if you feel a little bit disturbed and you feel a little bit, I don't know, anxious, then we're going to reflect that on the yoga mat. But with that regular, steady, gentle, and gentle's the word, regular, steady, gentle practice, things begin to change. And it can be a beautiful anchor in your life. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, let it go. Do one more like that. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale through your mouth. Beautiful. And then same thing again. Bring your beautiful legs out. Drop your knees from side to side. Just bring a little bit of movement in. This doesn't have to be too formal. And then we'll come back to a cross-leg position and we'll do a little bit of twisting. Can't beat a bit of twisting. Digestion, calming the central nervous system. Maybe bring your other shin in front. Sit nice and tall. Have a little wriggle around, maybe press your fingertips into your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, twist over to the right. So you just quarter turn to the right, left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. So now you've got length in your spine. You inhale. As you exhale, you just come into your twist. Nice deep inhales. Full releasing exhales. Every inhale, you find a little bit of length in your spine. Every exhale, just a little bit deeper into the twist, but be gentle. Deep inhales, full exhales. One more complete round like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Come back to center, swap it out. Twist to the left. So you just bring the right hand onto the left knee, left hand behind. Press into the fingertips or the palm of your hand. Just so you've got length. Here's your inhale. Look how long my spine is. Here's my exhale. And twisting over to the left. Nice deep rich inhales. And full releasing exhales. Just keep breathing like that. Deep inhale. Full exhale. I think we've got one more left in this, so nice deep inhale. And full exhale. Nice, and then come back to center. Walk your hands out forward, and then keep your chest and your heart center lifted. So you've got kind of like a lot of length in your spine. It's not about coming down low. If you're up here, great. You might walk a little bit further forward. You just tilt in the pelvis forward, and you're probably feeling this right deep into the lower spine. Nice. Little bit of side to side movement. This doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be strong. You're just paying attention. If you want to bring your forearms down onto the floor and let the back round a little bit, let the head be nice and loose. Maybe you feel that a little bit more into the lower spine. So breathe nice and deep. Send the breath where it's needed. You know, that idea of always sending the breath where it's needed. And then press into your hands and then come all the way back up. And then what we'll do is we'll just flip the legs to the side and then come onto all fours. Oh, nice, everyone. And then from here, just step your legs back. We usually do this, don't we? Kind of, probably for my benefit more than yours. Lengthen one leg, come back to center, lengthen the other leg out. Where do you feel this? Breathe nice and deeply. Then come back to center, move through a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift your head and your heart. As you exhale, round into your spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So there's your movement. Inhale, spine elongates. As you exhale, spine rounds and arches. Rounds. And then as you inhale, it arches. So inhale, arch, exhale, round, like a wave. A couple more rounds. Inhale, come back to center. And then a full exhale. And just take a moment to come into child's pose. So split your knees a little bit wider. See if you can bring your big toes together. Remember, in child's pose, you can lay yourself down here on the floor with the head down. You can always bring the head onto the hands. Whatever works for you, it's all good. Just take a few breaths. Maybe a little bit of movement. You can kind of swing the hips a little bit. And then inhale, come all the way back to center. Nice. And then what we'll do is a little balance and a little bit of core work. Balancing and core work, Dave, that doesn't sound like much fun. Of course, it's a lot of fun. So inhale the right leg back, point the toes down towards the floor. In fact, do that. Move your ankle around a little bit. Flex the toes, point the toes. Do some circles. You might kind of move the hip around a little bit. Spread out through your fingers so you feel that firm base. And then when you're ready, re-lengthen that right leg and then lengthen out through your left arm. I'm going to tuck my toes under on the left leg just because I'm getting cramp in my foot. You can have just the foot down on the floor. So do this. Take an inhale, or I invite you to do this. Do this. Inhale, find length, and then exhale, right knee to left elbow. So you just crunch under. Inhale, find length, and then exhale. Nice and slow. Inhaling. And you're rounding the spine and tucking the navel up, lifting the knee as high as you can. Two more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then bring the left hand down to meet the right. And then just a couple of really big hip circles in both directions. So just circle the hips out and come back the other way. Nice. And then we'll do all that on the other side. Hopefully I won't get a cramp in the right foot. All right. Lengthen out through the left leg. And then same thing, maybe just move the ankle around a little bit. You can move the leg side to side. You can bend into it. Maybe reposition your hands. And then re-lengthen that leg. And the toes are pointing right down towards your mat like this. And then lengthen out through your right arm. Nice. So take an inhale. Find a little bit more length through the arm and the leg. As you exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Lift as high as you can. Inhale, lengthen. Getting cramp in this foot. Exhale. Nice. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Final round. Inhale. Exhale. Knee to elbow. Bring everything down onto your mat. Move through 3 rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, drop the belly down, lift your head and your heart. Exhale, round your spine. What a beautiful way to move your spine. One more. Nice. And then come all the way back to center. And then split the knees nice and wide again. Come back into a child's pose. Just for a couple of breaths. Let's see how long my feet can handle this. I don't know what's going on with my feet today. Always something to pay attention to, right, in yoga. Always be curious, never judge, be gentle with yourself, be compassionate. That's the most important thing. Love yourself. Spread that love out. Sounds a bit corny, doesn't it? But it's true, you know. All right, take one more complete round of breath. When you're ready, press into your hands and come all the way back. Nice. From here, shall we do it? Shall we come into downward facing dog? Spread out through your fingers, reposition your hands if you need to. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. And I always separate my feet just a bit wider and I step them back just a little bit. So the most important thing, look at my body here. I've got a big bend in my knees and my spine is nice and long. My head is nearly touching the floor. So I'm not doing this, you know, when my legs are straight and I get this rounding and then I'm not lengthening my arms enough. Bending my knees and lengthening my spine. Nice. So bent knees can be really good. We're looking to lengthen the spine more than anything else. Then bend into one knee, bend into the other. Just walk it out just a little bit. Maybe bend both knees at the same time. Nice. And then get really springy in your knees. Bring the knees a bit further down towards your mat. Play around a little bit. And then just step to the top of your mat. Come up in as many steps that feels good for you. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, press into your feet, sweep the arms high and wide. And then as you exhale, just bring your hands to heart center. How are we looking there? We're looking all right, aren't we? Nice. Just make sure that I don't hit this light fitting, right? All right, let's move through around a sun salutation A. Inhale up. And then exhale, just fold in nice and deep. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen, come up halfway. As you exhale, bring your hands down and then gently just step back into your plank. Take an inhale here just to find some length. So you see, I sort of start here, bum's way too high. So I press into the outer edges of my feet. My feet are about hip width apart, and this is where I want to be. I don't want to be here, and I don't want to be here. I want to be here. So I think about the crown of the head. My gaze is just down to the top edge of my mat. And then I think of the line of energy all the way down the spine, and I'm thinking about my feet. This is where I want to be. As you exhale, drop your knees down, be gentle with yourself. Most important thing here, lower down really slowly, keep your elbows tucked in by your body. So look how slow I come down. When you get to this point, sometimes you collapse, that's okay, not a problem. When you're down on the floor, take a moment, reposition your hands if you need to, spread out through your fingers, tuck your elbows in, press the tops of the feet into the floor, take an inhale, just lengthen and come into cobra. So here's your back then, you don't have to come up far. Exhale, bring your forehead down onto the floor. Do that 2 more times. Press the tops of the feet to the floor. Inhale. Really squeeze the elbows in. Lift your heart center. Exhale. Come down. Here's your last one. Nice deep inhale. And then a full exhale. Just kiss your forehead to the floor. See if you can do this. Bring your hands right underneath your shoulders so the elbows are still tucked in, you can either bring your knees down and come back to plank that way, or maybe with a little bit more vigor, press yourself up and come back into plank this way. As you exhale into downward facing dog. What? All right, let's do that again. Inhale into your plank. Remember, you can drop your knees if you want. Exhale to the floor. Nice. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Keep the elbows tucked in. As you exhale, forehead down into the floor. Try that little thing. Tuck the toes under. Keep the elbows squeezed in. Press into the hands. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remember, you can do that on the knees. It doesn't have to be super strenuous. Take 2 breaths. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Nice. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Bring your knees into your hips up between your hands, and then step to the top of your mat. I step my right, there's my right, and then the left, there's my left, to the top of the mat. Maybe doing a few steps. Inhale, find length. I like to come up nice and high. As I exhale, fold. Then I'm rooting down into my feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Whoa, there's the light. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. Shall we do one more like that on the breath? Inhale up. Maybe a hint of a back bend, because I'm avoiding the light. As I exhale into your forward fold. Reposition yourself if you need to. Inhale, lengthen, come up halfway. Little bend in the knees can really help lengthen the spine. As you exhale, your hands are down. One foot back, then the other. And then take an inhale here to find some length. As you exhale, lower to the floor. Let's drop our knees. Keep the elbows tucked in. And then lower all the way down. Nice and slowly. Enjoy the sensation as you lie on your mat. Inhale, you come into cobra. Exhale, push the hips back, come into child's pose. Nice. Take a couple of rounds of breath here in child's pose. Let's take 2 more. And then when you're ready, press into the hands. Really gently tuck your toes under, lift your hips, come back into downward facing dog. Deep inhales. Full exhales. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Nice. Bend your knees into your hips, up between your hands. Gently bring yourself to the top of your mat. One foot. Then the other. Inhale to come up halfway. As you exhale, fold it deep, and then inhale, stretch up, come all the way up, root into the feet. Exhale, hands to heart center. And like we sometimes do, just for a moment, bring your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your left hand. Maybe close your eyes. Take a moment to appreciate yourself. Recognize the efforts that it's taken to get here on your mat. Every time you do it, it's a victory. And there's so much more going on than just what looks like from the outside of bending and stretching. It's more profound than that, I promise you. All right, nice. Bring the hands down. We're going to come back to a seated position. I'm probably going to grab something to sit on, and we'll be here for the rest of, not the rest of the class, the majority of the class. And then what we'll do is we shall have a little shavasana, all right? So I've got my little notebook here. All right, let me just have a quick look. All right, so we've got the mantra for a little bit later, and I've got that on a block. So I'm going to show you that. So won't need to put it in the chat bar. Sit nice and tall. And we're going to do a couple of really weird things. So these can look quite strange. And if we're doing the mantra today, then we might as well do all the strange stuff at the same time, right? And then you can give me some feedback and let me know if it's something you want to do again or anything close to this. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a seated meditation. And we're going to move the spine, okay? Now I'm going to show you what we do. We're going to bring your hands out. You're going to tuck in the ring finger and the little finger, and then you're going to wrap the thumbs around them. So that's your mudra, all right? And then the other fingers stick up. And then we're going to do this really weird thing. Well, you think about the fingers, you've got the Jupiter and the Saturn finger, which are sticking up. I've written a couple of notes. So we think about the Jupiter finger, which is middle finger. And we think about that as expansion, wisdom, knowledge. We all want a bit of expansion, wisdom, and knowledge. And then the first finger is Saturn. We want energy, patience, and discipline. Energy, patience, and discipline. So two really nice things. So we're kind of channeling this energy in. And what we're going to do is we're going to move the spine. Well, how are we going to move the spine? We're going to do these circles, all right? So you're going to be moving the hands like this, outwards. It's just a blur, isn't it? The hands are so fast. And then we're going to come inwards. We're going to do it this way, all right? So this is all about keeping an open mind. We're going to close the eyes, probably. We're going to focus at the third eye. This is when someone checks in and they're like, oh, just go and have a look what the yoga's like on Virtual Village, or hold on a minute. And then to check in, and then I'm here sitting there doing this, and all you guys are at home doing it. They'll be like, interesting. But it is interesting content, isn't it? All right. So we're going to go, what should we do? 45 seconds out, 45 seconds in. All right. So give the shoulders a little shake. Find your mudra, and then focus at the third eye. And then you're just going to do deep breathing here. So it's deep breathing, no breath of fire, nothing weird like that. Okay, so keep the elbows tucked in. And okay, let's get into it. Move the hands as fast as you can in an outwards movement. From the outside, probably looks very strange. That's if you've got someone else in the room with you, or if they're going to walk past your window, be like, what are those people doing? They're practicing yoga. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Try and go a little bit quicker. Another 15 seconds in this direction. And hopefully you feel this in your spine. You know, you really feel the spine. It's kind of just moving up and down, side to side. Bringing that energy to the fore. And then come back the other way. I like this way better. Go really fast. There you go. That's how quick you can do it. It's not for much longer. You know, you've got 30 seconds. So for 30 seconds, get nice and vigorous with it. Give it your all. Ten seconds. Go as fast as you can. Slow it down. Take a deep inhale. And then a full exhale. Bring your hands down. Nice. Bring your thumb and your forefinger together. So thumb and forefinger touch. And then maybe close your eyes and just sit in your seat of awareness. Notice what's going on. Beautiful. Nice. And then a little bit of movement through the shoulders. So now the hands down on the knees. Inhale the shoulders up. Exhale and down. Release any tension. As you exhale down, really drop your shoulder blades down your back. Two more. Nice. And then just give the shoulders a little roll. Anything you need to do to take any tension out. So that's a lot of energy being moved around, right? So physically, the spine has moved a lot. Energetically, you know, you've kind of moved the arms quite a lot there. So we're going to stabilize the energy now. So we're going to do this for 1 minute. And you're going to bring your arms out. So your right palm will be face up. Your left palm will be face down. So right palm up, left palm down. Breathe deeply. Really expand out through your fingertips. Close your eyes. And see if you can find the breath in your body in this really steady, slow rhythm. Maybe the slowest, most nourishing breaths you've taken so far today. And just take one more complete round of breath. And then when you're ready, just slowly bring the hands down. Beautiful, everyone. A little bit of movement through your neck. So inhale your head to the left. And then exhale your head to the right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. One more time either side. Nice deep inhale to the left. A full exhale to the right. And then come back to center. Beautiful. One little more shrug of the shoulders or roll the shoulders out. And then if you want to, you can just lengthen the legs or just bring the soles of the feet on the floor. Just a little bit more movement side to side. And then we're going to do this final mantra. All right. And this mantra is really beautiful. I'm going to read what the mantra is about. It said, this mantra, it taps into the energies of the sun, the moon, the earth, and the infinite spirit. Wow, I like that. Taps into the energies of the sun, the moon, the earth, and the infinite spirit to bring deep healing. It says, Kundalini yoga practitioners have been using this meditation to send a healing energy to a loved one, or if it's in need of healing yourself. So you can choose. If you need healing, we all need healing in some way, right? Or you can send this one out to somebody else, or send it to yourself and send it to someone else. Yeah, so nice, beautiful, healing mantra. I'm going to show you what the mantra looks like. I've set it up here. I'm just going to move my timer. And here it comes. Hopefully this will work. I'm going to need to move my camera down. So there you go. So here it is. I'm just reading Irish and the dogs are looking at us strangely. So here's the mantra. So it's Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohung. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohung. So that's all we're going to chant. And you've got it there in front of you, and you might kind of look at it. I'm going to move back so you can probably see me. And what we're going to do, we're going to use it with a breath meditation. So we'll chant it twice, and then what we'll do is we'll inhale for 8 sniffs. So in fact, what we'll do is we'll inhale for 8 sniffs first. So I'll show you what it looks like. I'll do one round, and then we can get into this together. Okay, so I'm going to sit here. When I've done my 8 sniffs, I want my lungs to be full, and then as you chant, you'll exhale. It will come quite naturally. Okay, so here we go. So I'm inhaling for 8 through my nose. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. And then I'll repeat and I'll inhale for 8. Okay, so that's the way it's going to work. It's nice to use the breath meditation with it as well. Let me just move this a little bit. Hopefully you can still see that. I don't want to do it so you can't see it. So let's be nice and cautious. Okay? So we'll do this for a few minutes, and then we'll let this beautiful healing energy integrate within the body, and we'll have a little time in Shavasana. Okay? So sit nice and tall. Sit in a chair, lie on the floor, whatever you want to do, whatever feels good. Inhale for 8 sniffs. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. 8 sniffs. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. Satanama Ramadasa Sase Soham. Satanama Dasa Sase Soham. Satanama Dasa Sase Soham. Satanama Dasa Sase Soham. Satanama Dasa Sase Soham. Let's do one more round. Satanama Dasa Sase Soham. Satanama Dasa Sase Soham. And then just come back to a nice steady rhythm of breath. Let the breath be gentle. Sit in your seat of awareness. Just be super curious about the moves we've done today, the mantra that we've worked on today. And then when you're ready, either you can stay seated, or maybe I would encourage a little shavasana today. So you can put on some extra clothes if that feels good. I'm just going to move the blocks out of the way. Fantastic work, everyone. Let's just spend a couple of minutes down here, letting all of the amazing work you've done today just integrate within the body. Bring your feet nice and wide, bring your palms face up. This might be the only time today that you give yourself permission just to let it all go. Feel your bones melting down into the floor. No holding here whatsoever. Let go of controlling your breath. Just let the breath be supernatural in your body. And then when you're ready, very gently, slowly bring some little movements back into your body. Maybe start with the fingers and the toes, and then maybe go into the ankles and the wrists. Eventually, you might stretch the arms up into the air. Let the arms fall down behind the head. Oh, maybe have a big yawn, stretch out through the legs. And then I like to hug the knees in towards the belly. We've not done this yet in the class, so enjoy that sensation. And then you can either grab around the backs of the legs and roll on the spine a couple of times, or you can just roll to one side. I'm going to roll up and down just 2 times. And then eventually we'll all meet in a seated position, come up to sit. Beautiful, everyone. Really nice. And we're going to finish, I guess, where we started. Just move this camera again. It's been a lot of camera movage today, hasn't there? We're going to finish with one final mantra, a nice, short mantra. Sat Nam. Sat Nam, truth is my identity. And we're thinking about this as kind of living from a heart-centered place. And remember, with all this stuff, it's progress and not perfection. It's a very long sat and a very short nam. The nam is like nam, and the sat is drawn out, but you'll get it. Put the hands together at heart center. Nice work, everyone. Bring the thumbs up against the sternum, and we'll take an inhale, then we'll start with a long sat. So nice deep inhale to begin. Nam. And then just bowing your head down towards your fingertips. Universe, put us in the places you want us to be, with the people you want us to be with, doing the things you want us to do. Thank you for the joys and the challenges of our lives. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Lisa, for your kind comments. It was a little bit different today, and we'll probably come back to that stuff at some point in the future. One more thing that I was going to say was when I went out to Rishikesh to do my teacher training about 4 years ago, I got there and it was like, a really long transfer from Leicester to Delhi and then Dehradun and then out into the hills of Rishikesh, and it took ages and ages and ages. And I got there and it was getting to the evening, and the river was a tributary to the Ganges, this really beautiful clear river, and there was people there and they had shawls over their heads and everyone was dressed in white. They looked like druids, and they had their hands and they were doing this chant, and it was like Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti. And I was watching them and I thought, what am I doing here? This ex-IT BMW driving salesman from Leicester, and thinking, well, how have I got to this point in my life? But just through a little bit of curiosity. Anyway, 3 weeks later, when I finished my training, where am I? Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti. So things change, don't they? Things change. Just be curious. Love yourself. Love people around you. Be really kind to yourself, people. And I'll see you next week. Really enjoyed that. And we'll maybe do a little bit more in the future. Namaste, everyone. Sat Nam. Have a great weekend. Look after yourselves. Love you all.